So I'm going to show you something that we're going to end on. Okay, I've noticed this. We don't frequently see wounds on our meat birds. I've got one picked out. I've got to try to get to a different position to show you. But it's got like a little bit of a wound on its right hip, okay? And when we see that, you know, we have to kind of decide, is that going to require intervention, or are we going to leave that alone? And of course, everywhere I go, that bird moves its hip away from me. But I'm getting there. But I want to show you this in case you have meat birds and in case you deal with this, okay? So right here, if we ever see a wound on a meat bird, that's exactly what we tend to see. And it's kind of hard for y'all to see it because of the lighting, but you can see that dark spot on that, just under the tail right there. Okay, so what's happened is basically, oh, he sat down, she sat down. Some flesh kind of got ripped back there, okay, and created kind of a wound. Okay, if I come back here, maybe I can get the lighting to change. Okay, so it's just where the flesh is kind of tore back right there. So either other birds stepped on it and ripped that skin or something. But what we want to evaluate there is, okay, do we need to do anything for that bird? Do we need to utilize any kind of intervention? Let's see when we get over here. We're not going to do anything on the skin with that, okay? Now, that's probably really contrary to what you would think needs done, but we find with meat birds, if we have that happen, the best thing to do is just leave it alone and let it heal on its own, okay? Now, the problem can be that we as humans understand the best thing to do is to leave it alone and let it heal on its own. But the problem is that bird is living with bird brains and other meat birds, right? So other meat birds might say, ooh, that looks really interesting. I'm going to pick at that, okay? So that's what we have to watch. If we see other birds picking at that bird's wound, we'll just take that bird that has the wound and move it out to the intervention group, okay? But as long as the other birds aren't picking at that, we're going to leave that bird in here, and we aren't going to put anything on that. The thing is, these birds start, grow, and finish so quickly. Like, that's not going to turn into something infected. It's not it's not going to turn into something that is going to have maggots in it. We don't have a fly problem in the barn at all. We're seeing 0 flies in the barn, actually, with this flock. 0. No flies at all. So so that bird we were looking at with the wound, I'm not concerned about that turning into something that's going to be infected or we're going to have a problem with. Plus, we only have another week with this flock. So as long as the other birds are leaving it alone, we're going to leave it alone too. But if we see the other birds causing a problem, then for that bird's well-being, we could move it out to the intervention area, okay? So anyway, it's a mixed bag with this flock. You know, I know we have a week to go. We hope they grow. They will grow, but we wish they'd go eat from those feeders. And there you go. But that's, you know, that's how it is. That's how it is. You kind of, raising animals, you kind of work out a system, and they challenge the system every time. So then you've got to adjust the system in the ways that they need it adjusted, is what we've come up with. So that's what's in the meat bird barn today. Hope y'all join us again. Let us know how things are going where you're at. And we've got viewers raising meat birds. If y'all are raising meat birds, shout out what you're raising. There's different kinds of meat birds. We focus on Cornish rock cross meat chickens, but I know there's different kinds. So if you're raising them, just shout out in the comments what you're raising, how many of them you've got in production, how old they are, and if you're going to process them yourselves, and maybe why you picked out the breed that you picked out. So anyway, we hope that you're eating real meat. Eating real meat and eating fresh produce and supporting local agriculture wherever local is for you. So thanks for joining us, y'all. Probably going to split this video down into a couple pieces before we upload it. But this is day 29 with 425 Cornish rock cross meat chickens.